But as far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these niggas, all you fake hard niggas, fuck you.
Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
What if the music industry's biggest names were hiding something so dark, so sinister, it would shake the foundations of Hollywood forever? Imagine a world where the glitz and glamour of red carpets and chart-topping hits mask an underbelly of manipulation, control, and scandal. From secret tunnels connecting the most exclusive estates to haunting testimonies from those who dared to speak out, the truth about Sean Diddy Combs and a hidden web of power is unraveling faster than anyone could have imagined. And at the center of it all, a network so powerful it even touched the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. Buckle up, because this story is one they never wanted you to hear.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witnesses.
Let's start with the rumors that have sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. An alleged underground tunnel system that supposedly connected Diddy's sprawling Los Angeles estate to none other than Michael Jackson's home and the infamous Playboy Mansion. It sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood thriller, doesn't it? Blueprints and whispers of these hidden passageways have fueled speculation for years. But what makes this even more chilling is the historical context. Hollywood has long been a playground for the secretive and the elite, a world where the rich and powerful could indulge in their darkest desires away from prying eyes. And these tunnels, if they truly existed, may symbolize something much deeper, the hidden machinations of power within the entertainment industry.
But they say that this tunnel connects to the Playboy Mansion. You guys remember that? Hugh Hefner, the guy who lived with all those women in his mansion. There's no available evidence right now. However, reports are noting that Combs mansions do have a pool with an underwater swimming tunnel. They say it's not connected to the Playboy Mansion, but there is a reason why the Playboy Mansion keeps coming up.
Reports suggest that these passageways weren't just architectural oddities, but were part of a culture of secrecy. While some skeptics have brushed it off as urban legend, others point to eerie coincidences, such as the proximity of these estates and Diddy's penchant for hosting extravagant, exclusive gatherings. But this is just scratching the surface, because these rumored tunnels might only be a metaphor for what lies beneath, a system of control and exploitation that has ensnared even the brightest stars. Which brings us to the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. His untimely passing in 2009 was shrouded in mystery, with questions swirling around the circumstances of his final hours. And now, a new name has been dragged into the narrative. Diddy's former head of security, Fahim Muhammad, dubbed Mr. Fix-It by insiders. Muhammad was there when Jackson's lifeless body was discovered. His haunting testimony during the trial of Jackson's doctor, Conrad Murray, still resonates to this day. But here's where it gets even murkier. Muhammad later worked for Diddy, allegedly wielding the same kind of influence to make problems disappear.
Think about if Harley was part of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house?
Could Michael Jackson's tragic end be more than just a case of negligence? Some are now suggesting that he was ensnared in a larger system of control, one that Diddy himself may have been a part of. Muhammad's role as a fixer hints at a shadowy network operating behind the scenes, manipulating events and silencing threats. And if this is true, it raises an unsettling question. Was Jackson a victim of forces far more sinister than we ever imagined? And then there's Diddy himself, a man whose empire seems to be crumbling under the weight of explosive allegations. The charges against him are staggering: human trafficking, racketeering, and accusations of orchestrating what have been described as freakoffs. These alleged gatherings were said to be wild, substance-fueled events that pushed boundaries many would consider unthinkable. Federal agents raided his properties earlier this year, uncovering a labyrinth of secrets, including incriminating videos and even an underwater tunnel leading to a private grotto. Yes, you heard that right, an underwater tunnel. The imagery alone is enough to send shivers down your spine. But the most shocking part, this is only the beginning of what's been uncovered.
You already made everybody think I'm crazy. You already took my family away. You already separated all my friends. I don't got no celebrity friends.
And then came Janet Jackson's cryptic warning, the moment that sent conspiracy theories into overdrive. In a testimony that left the courtroom stunned, Janet implied she had been warned about a shadowy network targeting young talent in the music industry. While she stopped short of naming names, her words have cast a long shadow over Hollywood's elite. Could her testimony be the key to unraveling this entire web of deceit? And more importantly, what did she know? And who risked everything to warn her? Her connection to her late brother only deepens the intrigue. Michael Jackson, a man who once stood at the pinnacle of fame, was no stranger to allegations and controversies. But what if some of his paranoia wasn't paranoia at all? What if he was sounding the alarm about a system that sought to control him, just as it allegedly controlled so many others? Janet's testimony suggests a chilling possibility, that this network doesn't just exist, it thrives, unchecked, in the shadows of the entertainment industry. And it's not just the Jacksons who have hinted at this culture of fear and control. Yeah, never one to shy away from controversy, has recently drawn attention to what he describes as Hollywood sacrifices and controlled celebrities. His rants, while often dismissed as the ramblings of a man under pressure, have an unsettling resonance when viewed in light of these allegations. He has named names, big names, and accused them of being part of this system. Could he be a whistleblower trying to expose the truth before it's too late?
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They could control Charles Barkley. They could control LeBron James.
The more you dig, the more it becomes clear that Diddy's case is not an isolated incident. It's part of a broader, more sinister trend that has plagued Hollywood for decades. A culture of silence, manipulation, and exploitation that has ruined lives and careers while protecting those at the top. The allegations against Diddy are shocking, yes, but they're also a symptom of something much bigger, a rot at the core of an industry that thrives on power and control. As these revelations continue to unfold, one thing is clear: the music industry may never be the same. The question now is, how deep does this rabbit hole go? And are we finally ready to confront the truth about Hollywood's darkest secrets? But just when we thought the story couldn't get any darker, in steps Ye, a man who has made headlines for his outbursts, controversies, and cryptic revelations. Yet, what he's saying now has us questioning everything we thought we knew about Hollywood. Ye has boldly claimed that many of the industry's biggest stars are not just controlled, but trapped in a system designed to silence and exploit them. He's named names as LeBron James, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and even himself. "They can't control me," he declared, in a now infamous rant, one that many dismissed as another of his headline-grabbing moments. But what if he isn't just ranting? What if he's trying to tell us something?
They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
No, not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see,
you.
it ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
The chilling part is when he spoke about sacrifices made in Hollywood, pointing to figures like Michael Jordan's father and even his own mother, Donda West. He described a world where people come up missing and suggested it's all part of a larger plan to traumatize and control. These claims, as wild as they sound, begin to take on a new level of gravity when placed alongside the allegations against Diddy. Could West's explosive revelations be the key to understanding a system that has operated in the shadows for decades? Or is he another victim of it, manipulated and discarded once he no longer served their purpose? And let's not forget the eerie connection between Diddy and Michael Jackson. Fahim Muhammad, who worked as Jackson's security chief before moving on to Diddy's inner circle, has become a figure of intrigue in this saga. Described as someone who could make problems disappear, Muhammad's role in both men's lives raises even more questions. Insiders claim he was trusted with handling sensitive situations, but what exactly does that mean? Was he merely a protector, or was he part of a larger mechanism designed to maintain control over high-profile figures like Jackson? The fact that Muhammad was one of the first people to find Jackson's body only deepens the mystery. Could there be a hidden link between Jackson's tragic end and the allegations now facing Diddy? But Ye isn't the only one who has hinted at a darker side to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Terrence Howard, an actor who has also been vocal about the industry's murky underbelly, once cryptically mentioned the concept of losing one's man card in exchange for success. While his words were layered with metaphor, they seem to suggest that many stars have had to compromise their integrity or dignity to climb the ladder of fame. Howard even recounted unsettling encounters where he felt pressured to play the game in ways that crossed personal boundaries. His refusal to do so, he claimed, cost him opportunities. Could this be part of the same system Ye is warning us about, a system where power players exploit vulnerability and ambition for their gain?
I came here today just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
And just as we were beginning to unpack West's claims, the victims of this alleged network began to step forward with their stories that are as heartbreaking as they are horrifying. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, gave a testimony that left the courtroom in stunned silence. She spoke of the physical and emotional toll of her time with Diddy, of nights that turned into days of manipulation and exploitation. Her voice cracked as she described the infamous freakoffs, gatherings that allegedly involved multiple parties and unimaginable coercion. "I felt like I had no agency, no control over my own life," she confessed, her words striking a chord with anyone who has ever felt powerless.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, sexual assault, and rape at the hands of Diddy.
What makes these allegations even more disturbing is the sheer scale of what authorities claim to have uncovered. During the raids on Diddy's properties, investigators reportedly found weapons, incriminating videos, and even a hidden grotto connected by an underwater tunnel. These findings, while bizarre on the surface, hint at a lifestyle fueled by secrecy and unchecked power. But what's most shocking is the suggestion that these hidden spaces were more than just architectural quirks. They may have been used to facilitate the very gatherings that victims like Cassie described in their testimonies. If true, it paints a horrifying picture of how far this alleged network was willing to go to hide its activities. But it wasn't just Cassie. Other victims have come forward, painting a picture of a man who allegedly used his wealth, influence, and connections to manipulate those around him. The details are chilling. Video seized from his properties items that suggest a lifestyle of control and excess. The raids on his Los Angeles and Miami homes didn't just uncover luxury. They uncovered secrets. Secrets that, if true, could bring down not just Diddy, but an entire network of enablers and participants. And yet, despite the mounting evidence, Diddy remains defiant, claiming that all of this is a smear campaign designed to tarnish his legacy.
A US judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male sex workers across state lines to take part in recorded sexual performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence. David Willis reports.
But how deep does this web of influence go? Diddy is not just a man. He is an empire. His connections stretch across the music, fashion, and television industries. Rumors have swirled for years about his ability to silence critics and control narratives. Insiders have claimed that even those who knew the truth were too scared to speak up, fearing the consequences of going against someone so powerful. And now, with his ties to other high-profile figures being scrutinized, the question arises, who else knew? Who else played a part in keeping the system alive? The evidence of cover-ups is hard to ignore. Allegations of destroyed videos, manipulated witnesses, and legal teams working tirelessly to discredit accusers paint a grim picture of a man willing to do whatever it takes to protect his empire. Court documents reveal a pattern of behavior that suggests this isn't just about one man's actions, but about a system designed to protect the powerful at all costs. And it raises an unsettling question. How many others are being protected, hidden in the shadows, while the victims are left to pick up the pieces of their lives?
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
And then there's the question of Diddy's wealth and influence. For years, he has been celebrated as a self-made mogul, a man who built an empire from the ground up. But now, whispers are growing louder about how that empire was maintained. Some have pointed to his ability to secure favorable media coverage, even in the face of serious allegations. Others have noted his ties to influential figures in politics and business. Could this network of connections have played a role in keeping these accusations hidden for so long? And if Diddy's empire is truly crumbling, how many others in Hollywood are scrambling to cover their own tracks? The fallout from this case could be seismic, exposing not just one man, but an entire culture of complicity. As the trial continues, the world watches with bated breath, not just to see what will happen to Diddy, but to see what this means for Hollywood as a whole. Could this be the beginning of an era of accountability where no one is above the law, no matter their fame or fortune? Or will it be another example of the rich and powerful escaping justice, leaving their victims to suffer in silence? And yet, amidst all the darkness, there is a glimmer of hope. Victims like Cassie Ventura are finding their voices, refusing to be silenced any longer. Advocacy groups are rallying behind them, demanding that the entertainment industry finally confront its ugly truths. And as more people come forward with their stories, it feels like the tide might finally be turning.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
But this is far from over. As more details emerge, the true extent of this alleged network is still unknown. How many others have been affected? How many lives have been destroyed? And perhaps the most haunting question of all, how many more secrets are still buried, waiting to be uncovered? As we delve deeper into this story, we can't help but wonder, will the music industry ever recover from these revelations? Or is this just the tip of the iceberg, a glimpse into a world far darker than we ever imagined? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and share this video with anyone who needs to know the truth. Together, we can shine a light on Hollywood's dark secrets, because the only way to dismantle a system built on silence is to speak out, to demand answers, and to refuse to look away. This story is far from over, and we'll be here every step of the way, uncovering the truth, no matter how deep the rabbit hole goes.